experienced the test of Azimio's La Umoja return of maandamano, rather the scheduled maandamano. Well, to what extent will Odinga's plan be a success this time round? We've got this and many more on tonight's EBN Edition. But first, the highlights.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
One would ask, who is God of the Bible? Where did the world come from? Is man basically good? What is the hope of man after this life? Is Jesus God? What does the Bible really say about Christianity? How did God come to exist? Is the Bible really the Word of God? This and many other questions on religion need answers. Join teachers of the Word and theologians every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on the program Bible Theology Show, where all your questions will be answered, only on EBN TV.
Azimio's Raila Odinga declares no retreat, no surrender in his quest to hold the Ruto-led regime accountable. Religious leaders call for peace talks even as Azimio pledges to intensify countrywide anti-government demos. Flower farm workers in Naivasha decry the high cost of transport after matatu operators hiked fare to compensate the high cost of fuel.
Well, welcome to the broadcast. My name is Sammy Adika. Engage with us through our socials at EBN TV and at Sammy Adika. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Chief Principal Raila Odinga has declared that he is not backing down this time round in his quest to hold the Kenya Kwanza government accountable. Odinga has accused the government for downplaying their call to have the bipartisan talks successful, and now they have no choice left other than seeking the support of Kenyans to have the government bow down to their demands. Emmanuel Marwa with more details.
Edtion had promised earlier on, early Friday, Azimio's Raila Odinga trooped at Kamkunji grounds to launch the significant Sabasaba rally that seeks to have the government lower the cost of living that has been on the rise for months now. According to Odinga, President William Ruto has failed to have the bipartisan talks successful, and now it is time for him to push for change. The opposition also vowed to collect the required signatures that will force the Kenya Kwanza government to resign and allow Kenyans to re-elect their leaders.
Mimi mwenyewe Raila Amolo Odinga nitaanza leo hapa hadharani kuweka sahihi, na nyinyi nyote mtapata hizo makaratasi, mtaweka sahihi zenu, sawa?
The opposition also raised several issues that the government has turned a blind eye on with regards to the August 2022 general elections, and now vowing to have them properly addressed.
Wabunge wamekwenda kule kwa bunge na wamesaliti wananchi. Yule ambaye alinyakua utawala kwa njia ya bandia. Bwana Ruto mwenyewe na vile vile amekiuka ahadi. Kwa hivyo sasa tunasema wananchi wanachukua hiyo mamlaka moja kwa moja ili watumie moja kwa moja. Kwa hivyo tunaanza harakati ya kuchukua hiyo mamlaka moja kwa moja.
Odinga demands received full backup after several leaders allied to Azimio pledged to be on the forefront in leading Kenyans in demonstrations, noting that it is the only way the government can address their grievances.
Kuanzia leo hakuna kulipa pesa kwa hao wakora tena, tumelipa ya kutosha. Bei ya unga iko wapi? Bei ya mafuta taa iko wapi? Bei ya kitunguu iko wapi? Bei ya mboga iko wapi? Kwa hivyo leo ni leo, asemai kesho ni. Watu wote wa Kenya tusimame imara, tusonge mbele kutoka siku ya Sabasaba, tukomboe nchi ya Kenya.
The journey to hold a rally at the City Park as directed by Odinga ended soon enough before they could make their way in Nairobi's Central Business District after the police launched tear gas to disperse protesters.
Kuja mkutano wa amani na wao wanaanza kutupiga na tear gas. Je, ni ungwana kweli? Ni ungwana kweli?
Will the anti-government demos be the trend from now henceforth, as it was clear that the cost of living seemed to fuel the Sabasaba demonstrations and Azimio diehards? Manuel Marwa, reporting for EBN TV, Nairobi.
Still on matters anti-government demonstrations, several businesses across different counties believed to be Raila Odinga's backyard remained closed for the better part of the day as Azimio supporters trolled the towns to express their dissatisfaction with the Kenya Kwanza government. The police were forced to engage in a back and forth with the protesters who did not seem to back down.
Tumechoka.
As Azimio leader Raila Odinga led his supporters in a mass protest in the capital, his foot soldiers were also active in different towns across the country to express their dissatisfaction with President William Ruto's led regime. In Kisii town, police were forced to use tear gas to disperse protesters who had gathered in numbers to attend the Sabasaba rally call. Kisii County ODM Chairman Kerosi Ondieki expressed confidence in the success of the protest despite efforts by the police to frustrate them. And in Siaya County, businesses came to a standstill as protesters took to the streets in a bid to force the government to bring down the cost of living. Shops remained closed for the better part of the day in fear of attacks by the demonstrators as streets remained deserted. Led by Alego Usonga, Member of Parliament Samuel Atandi, and a host of members of the County Assembly, the leaders called on President William Ruto to begin the process of repealing the Finance Act 2023, which they termed as punitive.
Which introduced punitive taxes that is going to make the lives of Kenyans difficult, and many Kenyans will not be able to afford the cost of living because of this tax. We are also here to announce that as the people of Siaya, we are declaring that we are opposed to the Finance Act 2023, and we call upon the Ruto regime to immediately begin the process of repealing this law so that we can have taxes that our people can be able to afford and they can be able to meet.
Rosemary Ogutu also noted that women and youth were ready to sign petition to have the president and his government resign to pave way for fresh elections should Ruto fail to heed to their demands to lower the high cost of living.
Kwamba wamama wa Kenya na vijana tumechoka, na kama itabidi tupige sahihi aende nyumbani tutapiga, manaka tutakufa njaa sababu yake. Maana tunamuonya tutakuwa kwa barabara usiku na mchana mpaka.
Former Laikipia Governor Nderitu Mureithi was also arrested by police when he tried to lead Azimio supporters on the anti-government demos that sought to address the high cost of living.
sheria gani tumekeuka kuwa hapa?
With Azimio now taking a countrywide approach in launching the return of their anti-government demos, the question that begs is, to what extent will the opposition push the government to heed to their demands?
And now moving to Kiambu County, religious leaders now want Azimio la Umoja to peacefully carry out their demonstrations and consider alternative means of addressing their grievances. Led by Bishop Dominic Karwa of Great Army Church in Githurai, Kiambu County, the leaders now want Kenyans to advance their peace call while urging the government to consider putting to sleep the challenges faced by Kenyans.
Tiharibu nchi yetu. Hakuna mahali pengine tunaweza enda. Kila mtu akona kwao. Hata saa hii tukiondoka hapa, kila mtu ataenda kwao. Kwetu ni Kenya. Kenya ndio nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo tuichunge sana. Tusiharibu kitu chochote hapa nchini. Mtu afanye jambo lile anafanya, lakini usiharibu kitu ya mwenyewe na udumishe amani.
Should have a responsible opposition. We don't want them to destroy people's property. We don't want them to destroy peace. Let them demonstrate. Let them forward their point, whatever they want to say. But then let us have peace.
And in Nakuru County, flower farm workers in Naivasha in the county have decried the high cost of transport after all matatu and motorcycle operators in the lakeside town increased their fare by between 50 shillings and 200 Kenya shillings on different routes. The residents are now blaming the Kenya Kwanza government for failing to keep its promising of reducing the high cost of living. Belinda William with this and many more.
A week after the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA) increased fuel prices in the country, the number of passengers using public service vehicles in Naivasha has dropped sharply after matatu operators hiked their fare to compensate the cost of fuel. This has forced many, especially flower farm workers, to walk to their places of work. According to Maura Mwangi, an operator with Simasako, many passengers are seeking alternative means of transport following the rise in fare by between 50 and 200 depending on routes.
Vili ni wachache na ambao wanakuja huwa wanalipa pesa wakiwa wanalia. Sasa hakuna msafiri yote ambaye anakuja kwa uwaja ati anatoa pesa haraka haraka, mnakuwa kama ni bargaining power.
Walter Risa, a boda operator, has however noted that the rise in fuel prices has affected all sectors and even food prices, which has forced them to hike fare.
Watu wa bodaboda tunaumia sana. Hapo kitambo ulikuwa unabeba mtu na shilingi 50. Saizi jinsi walivyoongeza mafuta, ukiambia mtu shilingi 100 ni vigumu sana kutoa shilingi 100, inabidi wateja wanatembea. So kwa hivyo itabidi tunaenda kwa nyumba bila riziki ya siku.
Paul Masharia, a flower farm worker, said that they are now forced to prioritize buying food for their family and forgo transport needs.
Sasa ile serikali iko kwa hii, waangalie maneno ya mafuta. Juu mafuta ikienda juu, kila kitu inaenda juu. Sasa tunashindwa tutafanya aje? Kama unabeba mzigo kutoka hapa kwenda Nairobi, maybe ilikuwa ya 200, inaenda 300. Na hatuna hiyo pesa.
Peter Mutanga also stated that the government has failed to keep any of its campaign promises, which is now hurting their pockets.
Na ahadi ya serikali walitueleza ya kwamba ni kuweka Biblia chini, mafuta itaenda chini. Ni kuweka Biblia chini, uga itaenda chini. Sasa badala ya kwenda chini, inaenda ikipanda. Sasa hata hatuna imani na hii serikali, maana hii serikali ni ya kunyanyasa mwananchi.
As the high cost of living continues skyrocketing day in, day out, Naivasha residents are now calling out on the Kenya Kwanza government for failing to keep its promise and instead oppressing the hustlers who voted them into the office. Reporting for EBN, I'm Belinda William.
Now taking a look on matters improving devolved units. The Senate Devolution Committee has expressed its support for the increase of members of county assemblies' salaries that has been raised for weeks now by the grassroots leaders. The committee has blamed the Salaries and Remuneration Commission (SRC) for delaying the success of devolution. The MCAs have been demanding for SRC to increase their salaries from 86,000 per month to 390,000 Kenya shillings, which will be equivalent to 40% of county governor's salary.
Of a member of assembly, stay with the Wajiko. Go to all Maoboresi, go to all barrios, do everything. Chair, I'm telling you, we are now suffering what is called pecuniary embarrassment. Some of us have even run away from our homes.
So we feel in the last 10 years, there has not been any movement. In fact, if you look at the basic salary of the current basic salary, moved from the fifth year of 2017 was at 165. It moved back to 86.
You are oversighting somebody who is earning 10 times more than you. Really, how do you want him to oversight that person? That person will compromise him because he's suffering pecuniary embarrassment.
You've heard of a lot of corruption happening in counties. How do you expect the MCAs who are earning peanuts to oversight somebody who is earning a lot? Even a mayor CEC is earning more than an MCA. Is that even fair?
Which rationale can you look at the eyes of Kenyans and the MCAs and tell them CECs earn 4,000, but you earn 86,000? SRC, you must be called to order. You are not law unto yourself. And I think going into the future, we must make SRC part-time. We cannot tolerate this.
SRC gave us, moved, even the 2017-2022, we used to get a benefit called the car grants. It moved to a car reimbursement. The car reimbursement to us is a plain understanding of a reimbursement.
We are, with your indulgence, I would say that any discussions as to whether this remuneration is taxable or not will be subjudiced to the case in court.
And taking a look on what has been happening on the corridors of justice, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Limuru have today asked the court to detain 2 officials of Brown Cheese Company in Tigoni for 14 more days so as to allow thorough investigations. The 2 were arrested over their demeaning treatment of female employees at the company. Rose Lydia Achieng, and the assurance manager, and Vivian Mukoko, who is the company's human resource manager, are accused of ordering female employees to strip naked and inspecting them to ascertain who among them was in their monthly period.
Through education as an enabler, we want to guarantee that every child has an opportunity to exploit and achieve their fullest potential irrespective of their social background. Education as a sector can become a fundamental forex earner for the Republic of Kenya. And that speaks to your motivating statement there. Ethical and globally what?
Well, apologies for the mix-up. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has issued a stern warning to government institutions that have failed to properly implement their performance contracting, noting that strategic plans are a tool for measurement and evaluation in their performance management. Speaking during this year's launch of TSC Strategic Plan 2023 to 2027 at the Kenya School of Government, Mudavadi urged teachers to explore global opportunities in line with their vision and mission of the new strategic plan.
Every child has an opportunity to exploit and achieve their fullest potential irrespective of their social background. Education as a sector can become a fundamental forex earner for the Republic of Kenya. And that speaks to your motivating statement there. Ethical and globally what? Motivated, ethical, and globally competitive.
We are in a time that a rapidly evolving technological landscape
automation, which we really appreciate, because we have said the entire government, we have to automate, we have to digitize. I'm happy that they mentioned about the remote running. We ran from COVID-19 when our children stayed home for quite a long time. That yes, we have to digitize, we have to take advantage of technology.
The teacher internship policy guidelines that has seen the Commission engage so far 54,300 teacher interns in a period of 5 years. We did retool 229,000 primary and primary school teachers and 55,125 secondary school teachers on the competence-based curriculum. The total number of teachers retooled for implementation of CBC as we stand here represents 82% of the total number of teachers employed by the Commission, and Your Excellency, the remaining may be due to those that we are continually engaging. We have also automated the TSC processes, including digitizing of employee records using the electronic document management system, and therefore, sir, we no longer have cases of missing files.
Thank you so much. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
And now taking a look on what has been transpiring in Migori County for 2 days now. 3 people have today been arrested in possession of 750 liters of ethanol during a major crackdown on illicit alcohol business in Mabera, Migori County. According to Mabera Deputy County Commissioner Joyfila Wambua, the arrest was made after 9 people lost their lives in Kubweye village within the larger Mabera sub-county. The police have now stated that they are going to intensify the crackdown against the illicit alcohol business as directed by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Admitted in the ward, in male medical ward, there were 3 and all of them have died. Female ward, we admitted 4 of them, and the 4 of them, 1 died, and still the 3 are still surviving and they are doing well on treatment.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we wrap up our tonight's news bulletin. Many thanks for tuning in, and until next time, do have yourselves a beautiful weekend and a good night.